the Great North Woods to the Rock Mountain Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Today on Good Morning Maine, a business in Chelsea has been left devastated by an explosive fire.
Plus, we'll hear why a popular grocery store and brewer is receiving some statewide attention.
And a look back at the Memorial Day parades and other holiday activities held around the area. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you for joining us on this Tuesday morning. It's going to mess me up, I know, all week long. You know, we had that extra day off. And
it's an added blessing of a long weekend, though. It's a shorter week.
Not bad. It was hard getting up this morning. I don't know about you, but, you know.
I had too much fun over the weekend, and it really messed up my sleep schedule. I'm pretty sure you're in the same boat.
I think everybody's going to feel the same way here. But we'll get through it today. We'll have all the day's news, and we might even see a certain news anchor jump from an airplane later on. So we'll finally see that story later on. Emma went skydiving. Can't wait to see it.
I know. I feel like we've been talking about it for days. I'm almost excited to be like, here you go.
There it is.
Check it out. Now we'll move on.
Move on to something else. But first, a check of the forecast. Raining pretty steadily out there this morning. It's expected to kind of let up a little bit, but we do have a chance for rain on and off throughout the day.
Here's Devin Biggs with that forecast.
And thank you very much, Craig and Emma. Happy Tuesday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Washington County Community College. Discover choices, create success. Sign up for spring and summer courses now. Alrighty, we have a small crowd advisory that is posted along the coast. This will last until 8 p.m. this evening, as well as some active surf along the coast with an area low pressure that is currently passing through. And it's also bringing some reduced visibility out there in the form of a little bit of fog this morning as well. Millinocket to Bangor, Bar Harbor, and many other spots seeing some reduced visibility this morning as a result of the fog and rain showers passing through as well. We're seeing the rain tracking through from the west and going toward the east, so I'm sure the rainfall also helping to reduce some of that visibility as well. I'm not seeing any lightning with this, so there's some rain showers passing through. This is not the only round we're going to have. We'll have a few scattered chances for showers and a few rumbles of thunder as the afternoon progresses on. So here's a big picture here. We'll push this through, catch a little bit of a break, but a few scattered showers and a few rumbles of thunder are possible as we head towards the afternoon period today. Futurecast moving forward showing no scattered chances for a shower or a storm this afternoon. And then later on tonight, there's some clouds passing through as the showers will be moving out of here. Winds will be a little bit on the stronger side today. Sustained winds up to around 11 miles per hour or so, with gusty winds possibly up to around 25 miles per hour at times as well. The hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period showing cloudy skies, scattered chances for showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, with temperatures warming up into the 70s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Emma.
All right, thank you there. Authorities continue to investigate a deadly crash in the town of Canton. It happened around 5:20 Monday morning. According to the Oxford County Sheriff's Office, 22-year-old Jared Bernard of Peru was driving a Cadillac on Route 108 when it suddenly left the roadway. It struck an embankment along a driveway before going airborne and grazing a utility pole. It then struck another driveway before slamming into a large tree 10 feet above the ground, landing on the driver's side. Bernard died at the scene. Authorities are now reconstructing the accident as they try to determine exactly how it happened.
Firefighters from 9 communities spent hours battling flames at a business in Chelsea on Sunday afternoon. The blaze destroyed a warehouse and multiple pre-built sheds. Our Grace Blanchard was on the scene.
A warehouse at a business in Chelsea was completely destroyed after going up in flames. This footage shot by a Chelsea resident captures the shocking moment an apparent explosion went off as crews raced to the scene.
I stood out on my deck and looked to my right, and I saw the big, huge plume of smoke from over next door to us and realized that one of their buildings was on fire.
Multiple crews responded to the business New England Rent to Own along the River Road around 1 p.m. According to the Chelsea fire chief, the building that caught fire was being used to build storage sheds. The chief says nobody was injured or inside the building at the time, but the warehouse and all the materials inside have been lost.
I don't think they know how it started, but the boom that I heard was an explosion. They think that it was a combination of the propane tank from the forklift truck that was in the building and some batteries that they used to operate drills and stuff, because they had like 20 or 30 of them in there.
The official cause of the fire is unknown, as the fire marshal's office is still investigating. The co-owner of a car detail shop right down the road spoke with the owners and says they are in shock.
They seem to be feeling kind of, I think, a little in shock and then relief that both buildings didn't go. and then just kind of concentrating on where to go from here and how to get things back up and going again for them.
In Chelsea, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
And the fire marshal's office told us they don't expect to have any new information on the fire until later on today. Moving on now. Veterans, their loved ones, and community members gathered in Mount Hope Cemetery to remember the 246 Maine lives lost during the Korean War. Our Doug Banks takes us to the State of Maine Korean War Memorial here in Bangor.
They've asked me to speak and talk about a little bit about the Korean War and what I remember and will never forget.
Since July 29th, 1995, the State of Maine Korean War Memorial has been proudly displayed in the center of Bangor's Mount Hope Cemetery. On Monday, veterans and members of the public honored 246 Maine lives. Veterans shared stories of their time between 1950 and 1953.
Looking back in the past, and you think of all the wars that we've seen in this country, and I remember my father, who was in First World War I, and served on the battleship New York, and then along come World War II, and my brother was on an aircraft carrier in the Pacific, and now here I am. Been in the Korean War, so it's something you never forget.
While the names of the fallen were read aloud, Cameron looked ahead, hoping veterans of the Korean War will come together.
Veterans of this Korean War are getting along in age, and I would hope that all the men that have been in Korea since and still are there, and we call it the Defense of Korea, I'm in hopes they might join this organization that we have and keep it going.
In Bangor, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Onion rings. Senator Susan Collins says it's our duty to Americans to honor those who have served. She delivered the keynote address at the Southern Maine Memorial Veterans Ceremony yesterday afternoon in Springvale. Here's some of what she had to say.
We have an obligation to always respect, thank, and support those who make that view possible. May God bless our heroes, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Meanwhile, community members gathered at the Coal Land Transportation Museum during their annual Memorial Day service. Each year, the museum holds a service to honor Maine veterans, both past and present. This year, the memorial featured a color guard presentation from the Herman High School Junior ROTC and a keynote speech from Brigadier General Diane Dunn of the Maine National Guard. Organizers say it is vital we continue to acknowledge why we gather on that day.
So it's important for us to remember that it's not just barbecues and cookouts, that there's a reason we have a Memorial Day, and that there's a reason that we have the freedoms and we're able to have the customs that we have. And it's because those men and women that gave their lives for our country.
Even on a rainy day, it's important to see all of our community members that were lining the streets of Bangor for the parade, and now here with a parking lot that's overflowing for people that are here, and understand that the importance of those that made that sacrifice.
3,168 flags were also placed outside the museum, each representing a military member from Maine who was killed during World War II, Korea, or the Vietnam War. The ceremony concluded with a wreath laying at each memorial site presented by veterans who served in the wars. To learn more about the museum, you can visit their website at coalmuseum.org.
In Bangor, the Memorial Day Parade is organized each year by members of the Bangor ROTC program. Our Grace Blanchard takes us downtown for the celebration.
Hundreds lined the streets of downtown Bangor, waving their flags and thanking those who served as the annual Memorial Day Parade kicked off on Exchange Street.
We've been doing this for a number of years, and folks are lined up in spite of some of the clouds here above us. It's a good way to recognize our veterans and those who have served over the weekend and enjoy the holiday.
Leading the way were members of the Greater Bangor Marine Corps League with the Color Guard presentation.
As long as the legs keep working, I'll keep doing it. This is a nice occasion, a day to remember service people.
For some, this is their first time at the parade.
Happy Memorial Day!
But for others, the event has become a tradition.
We came to the parade. We come every year, and we always stand right here.
The parade was organized by the Bangor ROTC program and concluded with a ceremony at Davenport Park, reminding community members of the true reason behind the holiday.
So we think of Memorial Day as sort of the official kickoff to summer, right? So the families are starting to break out the grills, we're having fun out in the lawn, we're having a good time. And it's easy to forget why we have all those freedoms, and we take today to remember the men and women who gave us the ability to enjoy these days like today.
In Bangor, Grace Blanchard for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, Newport's Memorial Day Parade was going to happen, rain or shine, according to one organizer, and they struck true to their word. Members of American Legion Post 105, along with Troop and Pack 63, and local first responders all made their way down Main Street with music provided by Nokomis Regional Middle School. The parade marched to the town's Veterans Memorial for a wreath-laying ceremony, a gun salute, and a ceremony to honor Sergeant Donald Skidgel, a Medal of Honor recipient who died in Vietnam.
We need to represent our people, our townsfolk, the place where our veterans came from. And this is our way to give back a little bit and to let them show us their pride that they can't show us every day.
Post 105 would also like people to know about their new Hometown Hero banners displayed throughout Newport. The banners represent honorably discharged local veterans who have since passed away. The banners will be up until just after Veterans Day. To learn more, you can visit our website at foxbangor.com. Just a few of the many holiday parades and other activities held around the area.
Yeah, I think it's always pretty fun for the reporter to cover a parade.
Yeah.
Yep,
yeah,
good stuff.
It is fun.
All right, coming up next on Good Morning Maine, the 2024 Women-Owned Business Award has gone to Tiller and Rye in Brewer. We'll sit down with them to discuss the victory.
But first, another check of that weather forecast. Rainy weather out there today, expected to ease some later on this morning. We can expect scattered showers and thunderstorms with highs near 73. Partly cloudy and showers overnight, lows in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, a bit better, partly cloudy with a high near 74. We'll be right back.
Summer is here, and with a new Toyota, you can do all your favorite beach activities, like spikeball, whitewater rafting, shrimp boils, wade fishing, or hanging with the locals. You can say that again.
You could get low 4.75 financing for 60 months on an all-wheel drive RAV4 hybrid or gas model, which could save you up to $1,600.
Your summer starts here.
Toyota, let's go places.
The Sisters of Nicole Brown Simpson.
How do you live with 30 years of rage and heartbreak?
Their first TV interview in 30 years.
Our top story, the death of O.J. Simpson.
Did it change anything for you?
Starting this morning on GMA.
Taylor Events and Equipment Rental in Bangor for all your wedding and events, tents, tables, chairs, and more. Also see us for your home project equipment rentals. Taylor Events and Equipment Rental, 1179 Hammond Street in Bangor.
Hi, Eastern Maine. Watch Person, Place, or Thing right here on ABC 7, weekdays starting at 10 a.m.
Welcome to the People's Court. Real cases, real litigants, real messy relationships.
Basically, it was friends without benefits.
Friends without benefits? What's the point of that? What's the bird doing here?
The bird is a witness.
Oh, for the love of all that's holy.
The People's Court
on ABC 7.
Well, the fun didn't stop with the parades. Following Bangor's parade, the annual Waterfront Block Party offered free food, great music, and an opportunity for the community to gather together. Hosted by local soup kitchen and food pantry Manna, the 4-hour-long event featured 2 bands from a local chapel and resources from Stop Addiction New England.
We've got one thing in common, Memorial Day. Let's celebrate the people that went before us that made this country free, because that's what it's all about, is we're thanking our service people that didn't come home and thanking those that are still fighting for us. It's freedom, and we have freedom through our soldiers and through Jesus.
The event also highlighted Manna's new location at 95 Jefferson Street, which was finally established after a 2-year search for a new home.
Tiller and Rye and Brewer has been open for 9 years now. This local grocery store carries food and products from area farms and producers, which is something the owners wanted to do from day one. And as Jody Hersey tells us, supplying shoppers with Maine-made items is just one of the many reasons this company was named the 2024 Women-Owned Business of the Year.
It's kind of humbling, you know, we don't make a product, we didn't innovate anything, we just sell the brilliance of other Maine producers.
Sarah Morneau and Lindsay Levesque are the co-owners of Tiller and Rye, the Maine Small Business Administration's 2024 Women-Owned Business of the Year, something the duo never imagined when they opened their company in Brewer on April Fool's Day in 2015.
Lindsay and I each had 2 children within the time of opening this, and our general manager had 2 children. So all the kids grew up here in the office in pack and plays and running around the aisles. So they definitely have witnessed work, but also how work and family life can balance.
The SBA's Maine District Director, Diane Sturgeon, says the owner's work-life balance made Tiller and Rye stand out among the other nominees.
I'll tell you, the women-owned business category in Maine is probably one of the most challenging and competitive categories because we have so many great female-owned businesses. And Tiller and Rye really stood out because they have figured out the way to kind of balance not only their business, but their lives.
Promoting other small businesses and encouraging customers to buy and shop locally also helped Morneau and Levesque leave a lasting impression with the Maine SBA.
And we just get to be the middleman. We get to see the expression on our customers' faces when they are buying something where we know where it came from and we know how excited that producer will be to have their products sold.
In Brewer, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
It's a great place.
Yeah, I almost think she's underselling it by saying she's just the middleman, because they have just a lovely curated business. You walk right in and it's like, wow, this is season appropriate and it's all local, at least right when you walk in.
Yeah.
I love it. It's dangerous in there if you're on a budget.
Yeah, you'll find things that you won't find anywhere else. And one of my favorite parts is a lot of those things are made right here in Maine. So it's really neat.
A really impressive portion of it.
Yeah.
Okay, the time now is 6:17. Right after the break, Memorial Day weekend was disastrous for many in the west, south central region of the United States, with tornadoes wreaking havoc and taking lives.
We'll hear all about it, plus your local weather forecast coming up on Good Morning Maine.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Bad boy mowers aren't built for everyone. For the bold, the originals, people who get the job done and love every second of it. Bad boys are built for horsepower and cutting-edge precision with a first-of-its-kind 3-link suspension and a style all their own. Because you're not everyone, and that's a good thing. Bad boy, mow with an attitude.
A new deck is a great, affordable way to improve your home or camp. Hammond Lumber Company can help you create the perfect deck for your outdoor space. Visit Hammond's product showroom and explore their extensive range of decking and railing options. Your Hammond sales rep will be happy to help you with your materials and design choices, and Hammond delivers from any of their 22 locations across Maine and New Hampshire. Make this the year you enjoy that new deck you've always wanted. It starts when you bring your vision to Hammond Lumber Company.
back, everyone. The death toll is rising from severe storms over the holiday weekend. At least 22 people have been killed, including children, after an outbreak of tornadoes across several states.
ABC's Perry Russum is tracking the storms from Washington.
Severe weather moving east. Downpours in D.C., a tornado warning in Maryland. This is the same system that created more than 24 tornadoes over the weekend, leaving destruction in Oklahoma and Kentucky. Debris is being cleared in Valley View, Texas, one of the hardest hit cities.
My mom, she's still in the hospital. She's in the ICU. She broke her spine in half in the middle, I believe, and she has broken ribs, so she can't feel her leg.
This is what's left of Todd and Lisa Smith's barn, the couple hiding in this bathtub with their dog as the tornado ripped apart their home around them.
I just don't know what the future holds.
In Piatt, Arkansas, in the northern part of the state, the destruction is overwhelming.
You don't know where your next meal is going to come from or where you're going to sleep tonight.
The storms are having effects on travel. We are seeing delays at the airports in Dallas and Atlanta. Highways and roads were also damaged. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
Just horrible. There's been so much of them lately.
Right.
You know.
It's really scary.
Only imagine what those people are going through.
Right, and we don't even have 1/10 of it here, but I definitely hear it coming down right now.
Yeah, it's raining pretty hard out there today. There's a chance of thunderstorms later on. We should get a little break from the rain later on, though.
Yep, seems like it. Here's Devin Biggs with that forecast.
Alrighty, Craig and Emma, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Washington County Community College. Discover choices, create success. Sign up for spring and summer courses now. Alrighty, small crowd advisory posted until 8 p.m. this evening along the coast here because of active surf thanks to gusty winds and an area low pressure that continues to pass through, bringing showers across the region and those gusty winds, which is causing the surf to become active. We haven't seen it for quite some time, right around 5 to 7 feet according to the buoy. So this is why we have small crowd advisories posted at this time. On land, though, rain and fog kind of name of the game this morning, helping to reduce visibilities in a few spots. Of course, a lot of it's probably the rainfall that we're seeing this morning, tracking from the west going toward the east. No lightning with this, but it's been tracking from west to east throughout the morning period. We'll push this through. We'll get some dry hours going, but then scattered chances for showers and even some thunderstorms are possible during the afternoon period. As this area low pressure continues to track from the west to the east, you can see there's that first little round, a little bit of a break right behind it. The area low pressure for the most part up in Canada. We'll get some afternoon chances for showers and storms to develop as that area low pressure tracks away. So we might get some sunshine going for a bit. That will help to allow for a shower or a storm to develop. We'll lose the showers coming up later on tonight. We will be partly cloudy overall overnight as we head towards Wednesday. Maybe some clouds off to the north, but the rest of us seeing a good amount of sunshine, maybe a few passing clouds as well. As we head towards Wednesday night, we'll be under a partly cloudy sky and some more clouds moving in as we head towards your Thursday. So let's run this through here from now until about Wednesday afternoon, maybe up to around 3/4 of an inch to maybe an inch in some spots along the coast before we're all finished up. Then dramatically lower chances for precipitation as you head farther off towards the north with a little bit more precipitation possible as we head towards your Thursday. So along the coast, some decent rainfall possible as we move forward this week. Otherwise, though, gusty winds are possible that could reach up to around 25 miles per hour at times today. Some of those gusty winds may continue for a bit overnight, although most of it will be farther off to the north. But then tomorrow, more gusty winds could occur yet again. So for today, here's what we're looking at here. Scattered showers and a few thunderstorms possible. Highs in the low 70s and a south wind getting up to around 25 miles per hour at times. Overnight tonight, showers early, then becoming partly cloudy. Lows in the middle 50s with the wind overall looking nice and calm, but maybe some gusty winds further off towards the north. As we head towards tomorrow, partly cloudy, highs in the mid 70s and that west wind gusting up to around 20 miles per hour yet again. Let's check out your extended forecast here, brought to you by Washington County Community College. Mostly cloudy on Thursday with a slight chance for showers, highs in the upper 60s, maybe some lower 70s for your Friday under a partly cloudy sky. Partly cloudy Saturday with highs in the mid 70s.
The most important thing is family. AAA shares the same family values. For over 100 years, AAA has been providing legendary service and has helped what it values most, its members. Join our family, and you could save on your auto insurance policy with our competitive pricing. Just like family, we offer you our support when you need it, whether it's questions about your policy or with our most trusted roadside assistance service. Visit AAA.com/insurance and find out how much you could save.
Your local professional, eco-friendly office space partner is WVII Business Solutions, your one-stop shop to get the job done. Handling all your office furniture and printing machine needs at an affordable price. Offering full system integration into your workplace and local service on everything we sell. We can even remote monitor your system with just-in-time inventory and service need assessments. Little to no downtime gives you peace of mind. At WVII Business Solutions, your solution is only an email or a phone call away.
Whether you're thinking of getting your first tattoo or building onto your collection of skin art,
Disconnected Tattoo and Art Company in Ellsworth provides the safest and most comfortable tattoo and piercing experience.
at Disconnected Tattoo, we'll combine your vision with our art to create something special that will last the test of time.
Don't trust your personal body art to anyone else.
Call Disconnected Tattoo today to schedule your consultation.
Or check out our Facebook page.
Disconnected Tattoo and Art Company in Ellsworth.
Dear Savvy Traveler, airline food isn't what it used to be. I need to fuel up before I fly.
Dear Hangry, you can fill up before takeoff at Bangor International Airport. The Highlands Cafe has quick and casual. The Refueler Pub and Grill has heartier fare. And the Post Security Cafe, other side of TSA, offers a pick-me-up before wheels up. Bon appetit and bon voyage, Hangry. And remember, the savvy travel through Bangor International Airport. Flybangor.com.
There's one number you need to know. It's called Joe.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. Over Memorial Day weekend, reporters in Gaza shared that many were women and children who had been killed by Israeli airstrikes. Footage showing multiple babies being decapitated. Fox News correspondent Trey Yingst has the latest from Tel Aviv.
A civilian car drives slowly through the streets of Rafah. It's a makeshift hearse for the bodies of Palestinian civilians.
Which humanity is this? Where is the world? Where is the nation?
Overnight, Israel launched airstrikes against Gaza's southernmost city of Rafah, targeting 2 senior Hamas militants. In the process, they reportedly killed dozens of civilians who were sheltering in tents. The Israeli military, facing international condemnation, has opened a rare probe into the incident.
The details of yesterday's incident are still under an investigation, which we are committed to conducting to the fullest extent. The IDF regrets any harm to non-combatants during this war.
The United States is weighing in on the strikes, calling on Israel to use restraint, with the Biden administration's National Security Council saying in a statement, quote, "The devastating images following an IDF strike in Rafah last night that killed dozens of innocent Palestinians are heartbreaking." Amid clear disagreements between President Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu about how to proceed with the war in Gaza, the Israeli leader saying this about the incident overnight.
Despite our utmost efforts not to harm non-combatants, last night there was a tragic failure.
As the war in Gaza approaches the 8-month mark, indirect negotiations between Israel and Hamas are set to resume this week. In Tel Aviv, Trey Yingst, Fox News.
In other news, an NFL kicker is facing sexual assault allegations from 2 flight attendants who worked on the team's plane. A new lawsuit describes a party atmosphere on the flight, which allegedly got out of hand. ABC's Derek Dennis with that story.
This morning, former Jacksonville Jaguars kicker Brandon McManus in trouble for some alleged contact off the field. ESPN reports a new lawsuit accuses McManus of rubbing against and grinding against 2 flight attendants on a team-chartered plane while the Jaguars were traveling to London for a game last year.
Attempting this field goal from 44 yards away. He got it.
According to ESPN, the lawsuit claims the fight quickly turned into a party and that McManus passed out $100 bills to encourage several flight attendants to drink and dance inappropriately for him, and that McManus sexually assaulted 2 of the flight attendants in front of other players. The suit claims one of the flight attendants made eye contact with another Jaguars player whom she said looked ashamed of McManus's behavior. An attorney for McManus calls the allegations absolutely fictitious and demonstrably false. The Jaguars are also named in the lawsuit. The team says it's looking into the matter. It comes as the NFL looks to expand overseas travel, playing more games, and potentially even basing a team in another country.
We have 5 games in Europe this year. We expect to do more games in the future. We're looking at games around the world, and we believe this is our next big frontier.
The Jaguars did not re-sign McManus this offseason. His new team, the Washington Commanders, says it's looking into the situation and takes the allegations very seriously. Derek Dennis, ABC News, New York.
A former TV soap opera star who interrupted a theft was shot and killed in Los Angeles. Johnny Wachter, who played Brandon Corbin on the ABC TV series General Hospital from 2020 to 2022, was killed Saturday while trying to stop a parts theft from a parked car. Wachter's mother says he and a co-worker were returning to a car late from a bartending job when they spotted someone trying to steal the catalytic converter. Wachter's mother says he questioned what was happening and the would-be theft shot him. Wachter died at a hospital. Police are looking for the shooter.
Well, after hearing from 20 witnesses and being shown more than 200 pieces of evidence, jurors in former President Donald Trump's hush money trial are set to hear closing arguments today. Closing arguments offer the last chance for Trump's defense team to convince a 12-member jury that he's innocent of 34 counts of falsifying business records in an attempt, prosecutors say, to influence the 2016 election. Under the law, jurors will have to unanimously decide whether to acquit Trump or find him guilty. And if they can't agree, the case results in a hung jury, leaving prosecutors to decide whether or not to retry that case. So certainly a big week coming to an end here in the Trump trial. We will have the latest.
Yep.
Yeah.
And coming up on the second half of the newscast, we'll have the full story from Skydive New England, in which you get to see exactly what it's like to jump from a plane from 10,000 feet in the air.
Plus that full weather forecast coming up on Good Morning Maine.
When you say let's go to breakfast, you mean let's go to McDonald's. Obviously.
Get 2 sausage McMuffin with egg or bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits for $4.50.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can start it with a splash. Hi. With a play date at a park. Or at a party with friends. Or at an epic water balloon fight. Gotcha!
You could get affordable 4.75% financing for 60 months on a fun-to-drive Corolla sedan, which could save you up to $1,300.
Your summer starts here.
Toyota, let's go places.
Are you experiencing foot pain? Comfort Shoes & More has a team of experts trained in pet orthotics to help you find relief. They offer tailored fittings, shoe modifications, customized orthotics, and much more for the ordinary or for the hard-to-fit foot, with fashionable and functional footwear from today's top brands: Hoka, Brooks, Keen, Teva, Taos, Ufus, and Birkenstocks. From running to walking, casual or dress, they have it all. Take the drive to Newport for a sit and fit to find your perfect fit. You and your feet will be glad you did.
Great Scott! This is Green Bear 420 in 2010. What kind of trip is this? I gotta get back to 2023. Wait, it's 2015. So much has changed. In 2023, we had a lot more glass, t-shirts, and novelties. It's gonna take a bolt of lightning to get me home. Finally, home at last. Now Green Bear 420, Green Bear Green Care is bigger and better than ever. To be continued.
If you have to ask why it's important to start your day early, here's your answer.
Kick your morning routine into high gear with any sized iced coffee for just $1.99.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back, everyone. Today is Tuesday, May 28th, 2024. It's also World Hunger Day.
And just a quick segue before we talk about this, I'm surprised the rain isn't showing up on our mics right now.
Yeah, it's pouring out there right now.
Yeah,
hopefully
nice.
the roof holds up.
Right.
We'll see.
We'll
Could
see.
make for an interesting show, though.
Right, yeah. We're all about entertainment here.
World Hunger Day.
Yes, so this day is observed around the globe to raise awareness about the more than 820 million people who are living in chronic hunger. Hunger is a condition where people lack the physical or financial capacity to meet their nutritional needs. According to the World Hunger Project, hunger kills more than hunger kills more than AIDS, malaria, and tuberculosis all combined. So Maine ranks 9th in the nation for food insecurity, including 1 in 5 children who don't get enough food to eat. 16% of Maine seniors are also considered food insecure, and I'm worried, as we've been seeing and hearing about for the past few years, this has all gotten worse since grocery prices have just been skyrocketing.
Going through some of those statistics are actually from a couple of years ago, and so I'm sure it's even worse now.
Right.
So something to think about on this World Hunger Day.
Yep.
All right, on this day in history, back in 1863, the 54th Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry, made up of freed black men, left Boston to fight for the Union during the Civil War. In 1882, the Sierra Club was formed in America with the goal of conserving nature. In 1934, I think it's Dione quintuplets were born in Ontario, Canada, and are believed to be the first to survive infancy. I was looking into that a little bit. It's kind of a weird story. I think the quintuplets were taken away from their parents because it was such an unusual case, and they wanted to keep them in the hospital until they were sure that they were okay.
So
but
kind of a sad one.
Kind of sad, but they do things differently now. But that was like the first time where they all 5, I guess, lived and went on.
Wow. I guess I'll have to look into that one more. I'm sure there were other things that contributed to them.
Yeah, interesting story. I think only 2 of them are surviving now, or something like that.
Wow.
So anyway.
Interesting. Yep.
In 1937, the German government, led by Adolf Hitler, started a state-owned car company called Volkswagen Works. Of course, that became Volkswagen, and the name means the People's Car Company. In 1959, the U.S. Army launched a rhesus monkey and a squirrel monkey into space aboard a Jupiter missile. Both primates survived that test.
A squirrel is a primate?
A squirrel monkey.
Oh.
Yeah, a squirrel monkey and a rhesus monkey.
Yeah. I only heard the first part.
They got a big old bushy tail like a squirrel.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're good eating, too.
That's cute. Really?
So, no, I just did that.
It's like you've had
I've never eaten a squirrel.
Oh, I would.
I would. Squirrel tacos.
Right. I don't know about that. Maybe ground squirrel.
Everything's good in a taco.
Yes. Okay, in 1987, to the embarrassment of Soviet officials, a young East German pilot landed a private plane on Moscow's Red Square without authorization. He was freed by the Soviets the following year. In 2003, the first ever cloned horse was born during a natural delivery. In 1999, Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper was returned to display in Milan after 22 years in restoration. 22 years.
22 years. Wow. It took them a while. They're really slow.
Right.
You know, it's a big painting too.
Right, I can imagine.
Yeah.
In 2020, people torched the Minneapolis police station amid spreading protests over the death of George Floyd at the hands of the police. It was part of protests that erupted around the nation. I was living in Boston at that time, and there were quite a few protests there as well.
Scary time.
Yep.
All right, for birthdays today, we have singer Colby Calais, who is 39 years old today. Former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani is 80, and singer Gladys Knight is also 80 years old today.
Happy birthday to them.
Yeah, Gladys Knight's and the Pips from back in the day.
Oh,
I really liked them.
Yeah. So. All right, moving right along now. It's raining.
It's raining.
Welcome back. Here's Devin Biggs with that forecast.
And thank you very much, Craig and Emma. Happy Tuesday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Washington County Community College. Discover choices, create success. Sign up for spring and summer courses now. Alrighty, we have a small crowd advisory that is posted along the coast. This will last until 8 p.m. this evening, as well as some active surf along the coast with an area low pressure that is currently passing through. And it's also bringing some reduced visibility out there in the form of a little bit of fog this morning as well. Millinocket to Bangor, Bar Harbor, and many other spots seeing some reduced visibility this morning as a result of the fog and rain showers passing through as well. We're seeing the rain tracking through from the west and going toward the east, so I'm sure the rainfall also helping to reduce some of that visibility as well. I'm not seeing any lightning with this, so there's some rain showers passing through. This is not the only round we're going to have. We'll have a few scattered chances for showers and a few rumbles of thunder as the afternoon progresses on. So here's a big picture here. We'll push this through, catch a little bit of a break, but a few scattered showers and a few rumbles of thunder are possible as we head towards the afternoon period today. Futurecast moving forward, showing no scattered chances for a shower or storm this afternoon. And then later on tonight, there's some clouds passing through as the showers will be moving out of here. Winds will be a little bit on the stronger side today. Sustained winds up to around 11 miles per hour or so, with gusty winds possibly up to around 25 miles per hour at times as well. The hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period showing cloudy skies, scattered chances for showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, with temperatures warming up into the 70s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Emma.
All right, thank you, Devin. I think it's also John Cafferty's birthday today.
Oh, cool.
He's 74.
Oh, okay.
I've always liked him.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. Happy birthday, John.
All right, moving on. Have you ever done something dangerous just for the thrill of it?
That's exactly what I did on Wednesday in Lebanon. Here's the story. Physics teaches us that a free fall is when an object is falling under the sole influence of gravity. And I was that object on Wednesday at Skydive New England, when myself and busloads of MIT students took the leap and experienced a tandem free fall, hurling ourselves from a plane, falling at the average speed of 120 miles per hour.
Honestly, my mind shut off for like 15 seconds, and then when the parachute opened, we were past the clouds. Then it was just about looking at the scenery.
And it's okay for participants' minds to shut off, because the folks at Skydive New England are the pros.
We are the biggest skydiving center in all of New England, so especially in Maine. And so people come from all over to experience our facilities and the airplane that we jump out of. We have a special airplane that takes you all the way up to 14,000 or even 18,000 feet, so you can get the highest skydiving experience in the country here.
But don't let that daunt you, because you're not the one in control while falling.
It's my job to make sure we bring everyone back down to the ground safely.
What got you into the sport?
I started military back in 2008. I was an airborne paratrooper. I got out, went to culinary school, and they gave me a weekend off so I could go ahead and try civilian skydiving, and I haven't left since.
So when I got up in that plane, I knew I was in good hands. But still, it's impossible to rationalize for a first-timer like myself. It's a fall that took multiple minutes and was about 2 miles long. Crab walking from the seat of the plane with a guy named Tom strapped to my back. My heart was in my throat, head in the sky, and extremities like a hallucination. And then the fall. Tom gave me no warning. We just slipped into the wind with all its deafening glory. I had no control anymore. Tom was the one in control. And if you've ever considered taking the free fall for yourself, take some advice from a 31-year veteran of the sport.
Life goes by quick. Don't let it pass you by.
In Lebanon, I'm Emma Smith for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Look at the smiles. Yeah, that's great.
The look on my face as I went out was like, ugh.
Yeah, you must have felt empowered after doing something like that.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It's like I jumped out of a plane. I can definitely, make some other major changes in my life.
Do anything now, yeah. Yes. And I just love the smiles. Everybody was smiling, including you, throughout the thing. So.
Yeah, they were great.
Yeah.
They were great. I had a lot of fun. And I'm going again next month.
Are you really?
Yes.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Just for fun that time.
Yeah.
Okay, right after the break, Ryan Sudol has our sports updates.
Don't go away.
The Lucerne Inn and Ryan's Pub is world-renowned for beautiful dining with a delicious view, featuring award-winning dishes from their executive chef, Arturo Montes. It's a true destination dining experience. Relax and unwind in an intimate space with your loved ones, family, and friends. We are pet-friendly, so your furry friends are always welcome to join you at your table on the deck, whether it's a special occasion or any occasion. The Lucerne Inn is the perfect choice for your business or family gathering.
Jamar Construction Products in Bangor continues to grow to meet our customers' needs, supplying products for site work contractors, concrete contractors, and survey and safety supplies. We are proud to be the local dealer for Hilti, Valley Blades, U.S. Fabrics, and Euclid Chemical, plus so much more. Stop by and see us at 1270 Hammond Street, or give us a call at 907-4491. If you dig it, pour it, plow it, fasten it, lay it, or lift it, Jamar Construction Products can help you.
When it comes to the whole home heat pump rebates from Efficiency Maine, there's money on the table for everyone, and the experts at Valley Home Services are here to help you get your share. Even if you received a rebate in the past, you can still take advantage of this program with a new Fujitsu heat pump for your whole house. And no matter your income, there's a rebate for you. Let the folks at Valley Home Services lay out a Fujitsu heat pump plan for you so you can start saving on heating and cooling for your home. Don't leave money on the table. Call Valley Home Services today and get your rebate instantly.
Sign up for You Pick 'em Red Sox at foxbangor.com. Pick who you think is going to win and compete against other fans for prizes.
Hey everybody, Ryan Sudol here. Thank you so much for joining us. The Celtics, a chance to go to the NBA Finals Monday night, going for the clean sweep of the Pacers in Game 4 of the Conference Finals. To Indy we go, looking to become the second team in franchise history to sweep the Conference Finals. Second quarter, Celtics down 1. Derek White to Jason Tatum. He goes through 3 people to the hole for the man's jam. Final seconds of the half. Pacers' Andrew Nembhard brings it up, spins, fall away at the horn, and he gets the roll. Celtics up 58-57 at the half. Fourth quarter, though, Pacers are up. Aaron Nesmith against Jaylen Brown here. Step back in the paint is good. They're up 8 with under 6 minutes to go, but did you really think that was stopping the C's? Here's Brown with under 3 minutes left. The floater is good to tie it at 102. Under a minute left now. Brown to Derek White for the corner 3, and he gets it to go. 105-102 Boston, and that is the final. A clean sweep, another comeback win. The Celtics are back in the NBA Finals. Now let's go to the baseball diamond. Memorial Day means baseball in Winterport for Winterport Little League's annual Memorial Day celebration. It's always special, but this year they kicked it up a notch. A decades-long tradition continued Monday as Winterport Little League Baseball hosted their annual Memorial Day celebration.
We get to walk in the parades, and then we get to come here and hang out with all our friends, and then we get to play baseball. It's the funnest part of the day. Along with the action on the diamond, there were all-day concessions plus yard games for everyone to play, all part of an effort to make the event bigger and better than ever.
And I say we had success. I have a lot of gratitude. I'm very overwhelmed with the community's turnout today. It feels good.
The day was made even greater by the 1963 Winterport team that won the Waldo County Championships, reuniting 61 years after their big win.
It was nice to see everyone again and catch up, and yeah, we were hashing over some old stories.
It's just pretty cool to know that there were people that played this before you and that they're still coming out and doing what they can to support.
When you're a part of Winterport Little League, you really never leave it, and it's a huge point of pride for these former players to see the tradition lives on.
The events back in the day, there was a huge barbecue, and we would have a triple header similar to what they're having today. And it just always brought folks together. It's just nice to see that tradition stay strong. Besides bringing the community together and giving the players a chance to show their stuff, Winterport Little League hopes that the event will encourage kids to give it a try for the better of everyone.
I think Yogi Berra said it best when he said that Little League is a great sport because it keeps parents off the streets.
But above all, they hope people don't forget why we celebrate Memorial Day. Local scouts raising the flags, veterans joining the players on field in pregame, an atmosphere of remembrance and gratitude.
Well, I just think it's cool, that they all just fought for us, and we get to celebrate them today. It's just awesome to know that there are people that would sacrifice their lives to serve for this country and this community.
There's some fantastic young men right there. Let's close out with some more baseball. The Portland Sea Dogs, the Sox AA affiliate, are hovering around 500 right now, but they are near the tops of all of the minors in terms of talent. Baseball America has named the Sea Dogs as the second most talented roster in all of the minors. 5 of the 6 Red Sox top prospects play for Portland, including 3 in the MLB Top 100, Marcelo Meyer, Roman Anthony, and Kyle Teal. Teal, the Sox first-round draft pick last year, says it's such a great opportunity to absorb the knowledge a team like this provides.
You learn something new every day from them, so just having open ears and listening to their process and seeing what they do, it can really help you become a great ball player. It just starts with knowing your strengths and really focusing on knowing what you do well and going out here every day and doing that.
And now to some more somber news in the basketball world. Former Celtic and one of the sport's most legendary big men, Bill Walton, has passed away. His family announcing in a statement Monday that the Hall of Fame center died after a battle with cancer. Walton, considered one of the best college players ever, 3-time National Player of the Year and 2-time national champion with UCLA. He later led the Portland Trail Blazers to the NBA title in 1977, winning league MVP the following year. After a stint with the Clippers, Walton was traded to the Celtics in 1985 and was a huge part of the 1986 championship team with 6th Man of the Year honors. Walton was 71 years old. All right, that's all it's time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Every night is pizza night at Dragonfire Pizza. From wings, salads, and sides to our specialty wood-fired pizzas. You'll find everything you need to satisfy any craving by the slice or by the pie. A little slice of heaven is waiting for you at Dragonfire Pizza, Mill Mall, Ellsworth.
What do heavy rain, extreme heat, and flying lumber all have in common? They're just a few of the things we use to test our replacement windows. At Renewal by Andersen, we put our windows through the worst because your home deserves the best. Renewal by Andersen acclaimed custom replacement windows. Call or visit us online today to get some incredible savings. Affordable financing, too.
This Memorial Day, remember to honor the brave who sacrificed for our freedom. At the Furniture Gallery, we're here to help you create memorable moments at home. Add a new sofa, or a new recliner, or how about a new reclining sofa? Upgrade to a better night's sleep with a new mattress and get a free adjustable base. Completely transform your bedroom with a new Von Bassett bedroom set and save 20%. Join the Furniture Gallery this Memorial Day as we honor our heroes and offer unbeatable deals. Maine, family-owned and operated, the Furniture Gallery.
Every night is pizza night at Dragonfire Pizza. From wings, salads, and sides to our specialty wood-fired pizzas. You'll find everything you need to satisfy any craving by the slice or by the pie. A little slice of heaven is waiting for you at Dragonfire Pizza, Mill Mall, Ellsworth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. Well, this infant named Trent was only 7 days old, and he's already going viral. The newborn's hilarious, grumpy expressions during a photo shoot struck a chord, drawing over 150,000 likes and counting. The photographer, Lauren Carson, says she has snapped pictures of hundreds of babies, but none compared to the looks Trent threw her way. That's a look of disgust. Yeah. Adding that he wasn't fussy and wasn't making any crying noises. He was just making faces. Like a great little guy.
Great little grumpy guy.
Yes. Really didn't want to be
cute.
there.
Yeah.
Oh. That's relatable.
Very neat.
Yeah.
They'll be telling him about that all his life.
Right. I bet he'll grow up to be a happy kid.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, another check of that forecast before we go.
Yeah,
Looks,
once more.
rain's still coming down out there.
Here's meteorologist Evan Biggs.
Alrighty, Craig and Emma, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Washington County Community College. Discover choices, create success. Sign up for spring and summer courses now. Alrighty, small crowd advisory posted until 8 p.m. this evening along the coast here because of active surf thanks to gusty winds and an area low pressure that continues to pass through, bringing showers across the region and those gusty winds, which is causing the surf to become active. We haven't seen it for quite some time, right around 5 to 7 feet according to the buoy. So this is why we have small crowd advisories posted at this time. On land, though, rain and fog kind of name of the game this morning, helping to reduce visibilities in a few spots. Of course, a lot of it's probably the rainfall that we're seeing this morning, tracking from the west going toward the east. No lightning with this, but it's been tracking from west to east throughout the morning period. We'll push this through. We'll get some dry hours going, but then scattered chances for showers and even some thunderstorms are possible during the afternoon period. As this area low pressure continues to track from the west to the east, you can see there's that first little round, a little bit of a break right behind it. The area low pressure for the most part up in Canada. We'll get some afternoon chances for showers and storms to develop as that area low pressure tracks away. So we might get some sunshine going for a bit. That will help to allow for a shower or a storm to develop. We'll lose the showers coming up later on tonight. We will be partly cloudy overall overnight as we head towards Wednesday. Maybe some clouds off to the north, but the rest of us seeing a good amount of sunshine, maybe a few passing clouds as well. As we head towards Wednesday night, we'll be under a partly cloudy sky and some more clouds moving in as we head towards your Thursday. So So let's run this through here from now until about Wednesday afternoon, maybe up to around 3/4 of an inch to maybe an inch in some spots along the coast before we're all finished up. Then dramatically lower chances for precipitation as you head farther off towards the north, with a little bit more precipitation possible as we head towards your Thursday. So along the coast, some decent rainfall possible as we move forward this week. Otherwise, though, gusty winds are possible that could reach up to around 25 miles per hour at times today. Some of those gusty winds may continue for a bit overnight, although most of it will be farther off to the north. But then tomorrow, more gusty winds could occur yet again. So for today, here's what we're looking at here. Scattered showers and a few thunderstorms possible. Highs in the low 70s, and that south wind getting up to around 25 miles per hour at times. Overnight tonight, showers early, then becoming partly cloudy. Lows in the middle 50s, with the wind overall looking nice and calm, but maybe some gusty winds further off towards the north. As we head towards tomorrow, partly cloudy, highs in the mid 70s, and that west wind gusting up to around 20 miles per hour yet again. Let's check out your extended forecast here, brought to you by Washington County Community College. Mostly cloudy on Thursday with a slight chance for showers. Highs in the upper 60s, maybe some lower 70s for your Friday under a partly cloudy sky. Partly cloudy Saturday with highs in the mid 70s.
At Living Innovations, we build community. You can be a part of it. We put supporting people first, and that builds a caring community within our workforce and for the people we serve. Living Innovations supports people with disabilities and has flexible work opportunities available. You could become a shared living provider and work from home, or help support people to be active in the community. To learn more, visit livinginnovations.com and check out our employment and home provider opportunities. Become a part of Living Innovations and be part of a community with a purpose.
When the acres add up, so does the work. The Kubota LO2 Series is ready for it. Part of the #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience, it features powerful, dependable Kubota diesel engines, performance-matched attachments, and the versatility to get the job done right.
Available at Doors Equipment, 1468 Outer Hammond Street, Bangor.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can capture all the moments that make summer, summer. Like driving a RAV4 to wade in a waterfall.
Nice.
Cruising to play mini golf in a Camry. Or taking a Tundra to the beach.
You're not gonna leave me here, are you?
You could get special low 1.99 financing on most 2024 Tundra hybrid and gas models, which could save you up to $4,100.
Your summer starts here.
Toyota, let's go places.
When R&K Variety in Hamden wants to know the local forecast, they log on to foxbangor.com. R&K Variety is more than just a convenience store, offering fresh cooked meals that don't break the bank, gasoline for your mean machines, or beer and wine so your night is fine. Stop by today.
I am so proud to call you my family.
If we miss our mark, this fire hits Seattle. We are down a firefighter.
All right, looks like we're out of time. Are we out of time?
We're out of time, I think.
Yeah.
We're chitty-chatting a little bit too much, but, you know.
We do that.
That'll do it.
Yep.
I don't know about you, but I'm half asleep this morning.
I know.
You know, it's the 3-day weekend.
I should be. I haven't been
Yeah.
sleeping well. It's been so much excitement over the weekend.
Yeah, hopefully you guys get through your day nice and well.
We'll continue broadcasting on Fox 22. If you missed anything, head to foxbangor.com.
Comfy, cozy, relaxing. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find rockers, recliners, sofas, and easy chairs. Quality furniture, affordable prices. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Every year, older Mainers are taken advantage of.
pressured into doing things that are not in their best interest. Watch for these red flags and talk to a lawyer before you act. Don't be pressured to sign a power of attorney, deed, or loan document. To sign away your home, even with promises you can live there the rest of your life. To give someone your credit card or access to your money. Call Legal Services from Maine Elders for free, confidential legal advice.
Hi, I'm Barry Gass, and my grandfather started Gass Horse Supply and Western Wear right here in Orono in 1911. Just after World War II, my father ran the business for decades. Now, with my wife and wonderful staff, we are continuing the tradition of bringing the American West to Maine. Our authentic Western boots are handcrafted for comfort, style, work, and casual wear. Saddle up with our premium selection of top quality saddles. Top it off with the perfect hat from classic to modern ranch. Gass Horse Supply and Western Wear in Orono, where the American West comes alive in Maine.
Durable, sturdy, stylish. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find solid wood, built to last, made in Maine dressers, bureaus, and nightstands. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
From the Great Northwoods to the Rockbound Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Hello, everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, a business in Chelsea has been devastated by an explosive fire.
Plus, we'll hear why a popular grocery store in Brewer is receiving some statewide attention.
And a look back at the Memorial Day parades and other holiday activities held throughout the area.
Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you for joining us on this Tuesday morning. We're all getting over that 3-day weekend. I'm going to have to remember that it's Tuesday.
It seems like it was longer than 3 days.
Yeah. Well, I hope
but yet not long enough.
Right? Never is. Hopefully
Right.
you had a good weekend. Hopefully y'all had a good weekend too. We'll have those stories coming up, including that story we've been talking about can't speak today. For the past few days when Emma jumped out of a perfectly good airplane and survived to tell the tales.